Okay, welcome everybody. This is a Division 2 match featuring Paul Reynolds and Will McCarty. This is week 1, so again there was technical issues with Paul's modern deck, so we've got standard and legacy here. Will recorded this, so we're looking at his hand. It looks like he's on that some variation of the standard storm deck that uses the Aetherflux Reservoir. You can see Psy Master Thopterist, or definitely Psy. I don't know about if he's running Aetherflux Reservoir. I'd assume he is. It looks like Paul's on the Bant Nexus. So this deck doesn't really do anything until he gets to turn 5 when he can drop it to Fairy. If he has the right cards, he can actually go off on turn 5. You can see he's got the Gift of Paradise. He's got a second one here. So what he does is he puts this on another land. So he's got 2, 4, 5. He's got access to 6 mana now. So next turn he can start doing his thing. Paradoxical Outcome will stay on top. So you can see Will knows what he's up against here. So he's going to fire off the Spiral's Expertise. The idea being, okay, I spoke too soon. He's going to return his own creatures to get Psy tokens. I think he needs to return some Gifted Paradise, otherwise he could be beaten next turn. Inspiring Statuary is actually a really important card in this deck because it gives improvise to all of his non-artifact spells, which is very important. You can see he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 power on the board. It's not going to be enough at this stage. The problem here for Paul, he needs Teferi. That's the first part. I was going to say, you'd assume he's got plenty of fog effects, as he just doesn't even bother to use one this time. He just cycles. But he's playing this Nexus of Fate before playing Teferi. So obviously he doesn't have Teferi. He's still looking for it. So he does that to buy himself a turn. Again, he's going to do the same thing. This is a really busted card because I think I was talking to Nathan Blowett offline. The issue is this deck is just damn annoying to play against, but the thing that makes it really bad is the fact that Nexus of Fate shuffles back into the library. So this deck will play Search for Skarner and Teferi, so it gets a lot of looks to try and find one of the 4. Once it gets its engine online, I don't think many decks can actually beat it. And you can see there, Will just recharging his hand thanks to Paradoxical Outcome. He'll play back Psy here. I'm still a bit concerned that as fast as this deck is, it's just a little bit slow against the Bant Nexus deck. Because you can see all the stuff he's doing, and Paul is still sitting on 20 life. Cycles of Forsake the Worldly. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got access to 10 mana, so here's Teferi now. So potentially here, Will's not going to get another turn. So this is the idea. I was going to say he just passed the turn, so he couldn't find his Nexus of Fate. What he does is end of turn, he untaps the 2 lands and then plays Nexus of Fate because it's an instant. Here's Barrel's Expertise, just again cycling and draw. So draw is going to draw a card every time an artifact is played. I quite like this deck. It's going to be interesting to see what it does after rotation because it loses all the cheap artifacts from the Kaladesh block. You can see here it's starting to go off now. He doesn't have the Aetherflux Reservoir, which is obviously a crucial card for the Storm to win by Storm. Of course, you can see he doesn't even have it at the moment, so Psy is getting the business done by himself. So the deck's certainly going to survive rotation if there's cheap artifacts that he can find. Now, this is game over right here, I think, if Paul doesn't have a fog effect. He's got 2 cards in hand because he needs a Teferi. Does he have the fog? He does. It's a haze of pollen. Okay, so he's got, and his other card is a land, a sheltered grove, which he's going to cycle. So I think he might have this one wrapped up. Charter course to draw 2 more and discard. Discards a land. The fairy draws him a card. Another charter course. Draws 2 more. Surely he's going to draw into something here. The only thing with this is the win con. Oh yeah. So Will had seen enough. We're going to go to game 2. Paul takes in the first game. The win con is that whenever he draws a card with the fairy, you exile a permanent. So the idea being that you just keep having turns again and again, and that's it. Paul's saying good game already in the chat. I don't know what that's about. Oh, he didn't find his second land. He has now, so it's a search for a Skanta. You can see the Etherflux reservoir there for Will. He's not played out. He's going to negate the Gift of Paradise. Yeah, he didn't play out his Glintness Crane that turn because he wanted to hold up negate. So here we go. Etherflux reservoir.
There's something exciting to tell you.
What's that?
No.
Wait, Daddy's recording now. You can tell me shortly.
I drank a glass of milk and now it's gone and we were playing. No?
So he's trying to. He can start to go off here. He plays out a second Mox Amber. He's going to lose the first one. Plays out a Glint Nest Crane. He's up to 35. The idea here is he's got to get to 50, then he can do 50 damage. What does he take? I think he'd take Inspiring Statuary here, which is what he does here, so he can get improvised from his other creatures. He's at 35, so huge pressure on Paul now to come up with something. That's something, but in this game it's not going to do anything, I don't think. You can see with the draw already out, he's just going to storm off here. He's going to draw a card every single time. He's going to get that back now. He can get back to Mox Amber, play the game. I think this might be one of Nathan Blewett did a deck tech on this. So I don't know if that's where Will got it from, but you can see now he's got lethal. So just do the 50 damage, and that's game 2. So game 2, I don't know what happened there. We're going to game 3. There was no game 3, so I can tell you that Will ended up taking that in 2 games. So we're on to Legacy now. Watery Grave off the top from Paul tells us straight away what he's on, and that's blue-black hollow one. No, sorry, blue-black Death Shadow. Stoneforge finds the Batterskull, so it's going to be Batterskull down next turn. If he doesn't have a... Oh, sorry, no, he's not on Hollow One. He's on his traditional deck. He's played this for a number of seasons now, and that's... he uses Torpor Orb to drop a 12/12 for 1 mana. Inquisition is going to take Counterspell. It can't take the Batterskull because it's 3 mana or less. So here it is a Dreadnought. It's a 12/12 for 1 mana. Torpor Orb's going to stifle the trigger, so he's going to get to keep it. He can play. He does. Yeah, he has the blue for True Name Nemesis. So True Name has protection from the creatures. Not really sure how that works with Trample on the Dreadnought. And also because the Dreadnought is colorless as well. We're about to find out, I guess. So here we go, Flying Trampler. So Paul's not going to get 2 turns because of either of those. Yeah, so it still tramples through. So Dreadnought's going to be lethal next turn. Snappy to get back something. There's nothing to get back, so he just dumps 2 Snapcasters. He's going to be able to do... So he skips 2 turns. Oh, actually, no, he's not going to skip because Torporob will stifle the trigger. Very nice there. Yes, Paul's been playing this deck for probably at least 2 or 3 seasons, I think. It's a pretty fun deck to watch. Unfortunately, of course, he's had technical issues, so he's not playing out the season. Will be his last game. That's more than lethal, I think. Yeah, because Eater of Days is a flyer, it can't be blocked, it's got the 9 damage, so we're going to game 2. There's Entrancing Melody, so I have learned something today. I didn't even know that Entrancing Melody was from, I think it's the Hour of Devastation block. I didn't even know it was a reprint. I thought it was first printed in that, so I've learned something today. Stoneforge again on turn 2. Because he's got the Force of Will in hand this time. I think the key here for Will is he has to counter the Pauper Orb, which he doesn't really have to do this time because you can see he's got the wear and tear there. So he's got an answer to the Pauper Orb. But Paul can't do anything until turn 3 anyway because the Pauper Orb will cost 2 mana to come down. And he passes a turn, you play Stoneforge on the instep to get his sword. But Entrancing Melody is a really nice sideboard card because he's going to be able to steal that Dreadnought when it comes down. So hopefully we get to see that. So here's the first step. There's a Torpor Orb. Ult the face. Now Wear Tear is actually an instant anyway, so he's going to let this resolve and he's not going to destroy it because he wants to steal Entrancing Melody. So this is going to be super fun if he gets to pull it off. So now he's got 2 wear and tears thanks to the sword draw. So pull down to 5. Here's a Dreadnought, so this is going to work. Oh, actually, he's not going to even let it resolve. He's going to destroy, so the Dreadnought trigger. And he's got a Stifle, but all the answers on Will's side. Will's going to steal it. This is cool. I think, unless there's a counterspell on the other side, doesn't matter because there's a Force of Will. Yep, that's a spicy sideboard check. Yeah, I'm not sure what set that's from because it's whiteboarded, so it must be pretty old. He's got his turn 1 Pauper Orb, so he can go off turn 2 here if he's lucky. Honda takes the sword, so swords it'll gain Paul a lot of life, but it'll get. I spoke too soon. Wear Tear I think is going to bite the bullet here. Wait, what did he take? Oh, he took True Name Nemesis. Okay, that's kind of suggests to me that. Oh, and there's another Wear Tear. It suggests to me that he's probably got more than one Torpor Orb. You can see he ran out the second one. Bit surprised there that Will turned down that Entrancing Melody after it won the game in game 2. He does have an answer with swords to plowshares. We haven't seen any evidence on Paul's side of counterspells yet. So here's the Stoneforge. Of course, Stoneforge can't search for the whatever he wants because of the Torpor Orb. It stifles the trigger. So we're probably not seeing any Batter Skulls in this game. There's going to be a slow burn here to push through to 1-1.
1-1, that's funny.
He's doing this in the draw step. Force of Will on the Vendilion click. No counter spells. Ryan Lamb has just dropped into a watch as well. So now he's going to ponder. You can see Will has a Swords to Plowshares and an Entrancing Melody, so he can answer 2 here, but still nothing on Paul's side. He is down to 11. But that little 1-1 that could. Okay, here's the Eater of Days. Paul needs another. He's just going to actually Swords to Plowshares it. I was going to say he needs another land in order to steal it. That's a nice pickup. 2 Force of Wills. He can actually hard cast the Force of Will next turn. I think he's got to use one here though. Certainly can't steal that with the Entrancing Melody. And the Force of Will is done, so I think that could be game. Well, he does have Snapcaster Mages, so if he can find a Snapcaster, he can take down the. He can, if he finds a Snapcaster, he can snap back the Swords to Plowshares. What's he trying to steal here for 4th? That costs 8. I think there's a. He just flashed the Entrancing Melody, so I don't think we're going to see Paul playing out any of his threats now. 2-turn clock here for Will, and he's going to. I think he's going to suffer a loss here in Legacy. So Will actually took down Modern and Standard, but Paul strikes back to take points in Legacy. Yeah, Force of Will's not going to do it. He'll flash his Weird here. Too late, and that just gets a Force of Will anyway. And that is the game.